Namaste everyone, my name is Ankita and I'm from India. This is day 5 of my dry fast and day 2 of the retreat. I'll go day by day. So day 1 of the dry fast, I had to attend my brother-in-law's brother's wedding, a very grand Indian wedding, and so I had to put makeup on, which is not recommended, but I could not escape it because I was one of the main characters. Then on day 2, I found out that my ticket is cancelled, and I could not have been more heartbroken because I had taken so many leaves by making so many excuses. I told them that there's a medical event in my family. Of course, I could not tell them about the dry fast. So I told them there's a medical event in the family, and then I was really worried of cancelling my leaves and then coming to the second retreat, which Svetlana was a darling to allow us. And I told my husband that I'm going on this retreat. I don't know how, but I'm going. So I chanted, and in my sleep I said, no, I don't know how, but I'll reach there. So I spent the entire day too calling the airlines. I wrote them 36 emails, and I called them 19 times. It was very enjoyable to hear the tin 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 and all of that. Then day 3, my 16-hour journey, which was my initial ticket, became 30 hours. I slept in the Dhaka airport. Then I slept in the Istanbul airport. And then I finally came to Montenegro and my luggage was lost. So I arrived here a day late and my period also started. But yeah, I really wanted to come here because Doctor Filonov changed my life far, far before I met him. I struggled with obesity all my life. So I was 32 kgs overweight, and Indian society in general is not very respectful of people who are obese, and it really hampered my confidence growing up. When I solved that, I realized that a lot of people started treating me differently, and that I was able to cure only through dry fasting. For 10 years, I tried every single thing in this world, but dry fasting was what brought me some healing. The thing is that I didn't know I had other issues, but in my second long dry fast, that was probably the dairy I had, and it was so swollen, like liters and liters of cuff came out of me. And I thought, is it possible for a human being to have so much cuff? then, then 2 years ago, I got married. And before my marriage, I told my husband that I'm not leaving this lifestyle and this is something I do. Fortunately, now he has also started dry fasting. I kept showing him videos and he was like, ah. But then I was like, no, you have to watch, you have to watch. And then he realized so many of his symptoms were getting cured because of dry fasting. I never had the confidence to make him dry fast for as long as I had done. But then we had a discussion with Doctor Filonov and Svetlana, and they said that as long as you have skin and bones, you can fast. So for myself, because I was obese and then I'd reduced the weight and done a 9-day fast, like 5 days dry fast and 4 days water fast, I knew I could dry fast. But for him, this was something, an inhibition that he had. My family has been very, 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 very supportive. They also fast, even my grandmother fasts. My mother and my sister have done 3 to 4 day dry fast. I keep pushing them for more, so eventually maybe even that will happen and they'll come here. But yeah, it is quite something to not eat sugar, not eat wheat, not eat rice, which I've not had for 6 years, and have that with a very Indian vegetarian diet because naan and rice was just such a huge part of our palate. But you know, there's a saying that says, inside each of us is a gate of change that can only be opened from within. And so here I am. Day 3 of the retreat, day 3 of my periods, day 6 of my dry fast. I got my luggage back. I've done 2 Vipassana retreats. These are silent retreats that happen all over India, and for 10 days you go into silence, and you can't look someone in the eye, and there are other rules as well. Silence is golden. And in that, our Guruji used to say that Vipassana is a mental surgery, and just like if you are a patient lying on the surgeon's bed, you can't just suddenly stand up and say, oh, surgeon, please stop, I'm going to run away. And similarly in dry fast, we're having a physical surgery and we just can't, unless there's something very grueling, run away from it. I have been dry fasting since 2023. That was due to my obesity. I was 85 kilos at one point, and then I lost 32 kgs through dry fasting, and I realized that I had other issues too. I was very vain, and I always focused on the vanity of it. But then I realized fasting is very healing, and literally so many times I just felt things move through me, like emotions would just move through me and I would not be bothered. In preparation for coming here, apart from all the fasting that I had been doing, in December of 2025 we had a consultation with Doctor Filonov, and as soon as he said that my husband can fast, we did a 3-day fast in December, a 3-day fast in January, and a 5-day fast in February. The 5-day fast was a hard dry fast, and I was working from home. On the 5th day, my boss told me that I have to go and attend a client conference, and that I can't skip it. So I had not brushed. I was thinking like hell. I didn't want to go with that commute. So what I did was I took rose essential oil and I poured it all over myself, over my leggings and my dress. And then I went and sat in the conference, and I hoped no one would sit next to me. But I was asked to speak and there was AC in the room, and I spoke. Then we did the 21-day dry fast program, the 21-day prep program. And my husband was very kind. He always used to remind me that do this, do that, because I was very much into my job. So I did as much as I could. And we also have a life, right? So I want to say and end this day's thought with a quote from a novel called East of Eden. And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. Thank you. Today reminds me of a poem. It's called The Body is Not an Apology. There's a line which says, the body is not to be prayed for, it is to be prayed to. When we come here to dry fast, we realize the intelligence of the body. In Michelle Slater's book, she writes that she had so many supplements and so many pills. She did infrared in the tub and XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And then she had to come here and detox all of that. She could taste the metallic taste of those pills that were coming out. So she actually had to detox from whatever they were saying was going to help her. Isn't that ironic? We live under such a big illusion. And the biggest illusion is this, that we understand our mind. In Vipassana, Guruji says that 90% of our thoughts are subconscious. So even I don't know what I'm thinking, to be frank. There's another poem. This is by Mary Oliver. And she says, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. And I think this is an amazing world. And something amazing is happening here. By the way, this is day 4 of the retreat. Day 4 of my period. Day 7 of my dry fast. I mention my period because I've been doing child's pose all over the hotel. I'm doubling down in pain. But you can do this even when you're on your period. So that's another limitation that you don't have to think about. Today I'd like to offer a metta meditation for all of us. It's a short one, so I'll just start. Just as I be happy, so may you be happy, so may you be in peace, so may you stay in bliss. Just as I heal, so may you be healthy, so may you heal, so may you be blissful. सबका मंगल, सबका मंगल, सबका मंगल होए रे, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल, तेरा मंगल होए रे. Be happy. Day 5 of the retreat and day 8 of my dry fast. Yesterday night I was not able to sleep, just as the day before. Usually when I go to sleep I'm like, it really irritates my husband because I don't think, I just go to sleep. But I was not able to sleep. Then I really prayed to God, just give me 20 minutes of sleep. So I would have a short dream, I would wake up, then 20 minutes more, and I don't know if I was dreaming, but I think I slept for 2-3 hours. I called my family today and my brother picked up. So it was a group call and my brother said, I was eating something today and something funny came into my mouth. So, Didi, eating is overrated anyway. So I said, what about drinking water? And he's like, water? What is water? I never drink water. Then I talked to my mom and she sent me her regards and blessings, and my sister. They're really kind to me and I really miss India. I also miss my mother-in-law. Apart from them, no one knows I'm fasting. In India, when you fast, people usually have sabudana khichdi, kuttu, kheer roti, and it's like a celebration. So whenever I'm in client calls, I go to a meeting and they say, oh, you're fasting, let us order some fresh buttermilk for you. And that's like an Amul pack. It comes out of a plastic box and they say it's fresh. So I tell them fasting means abstinence, and they look at me like I'm some very big guru. Fasting means abstinence. Anyway, so I don't explain. If you think I'm crazy, I'm crazy. It's fine. You guys are intelligent. So I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't care what they think and what they do. Another thing I was thinking about was this obesity, right? I had it for a decade. And then after a decade, I found Doctor Filonov. Now people lose weight with calorie counting and all of that. It never worked for me. And I always think, the solution existed long before. Dr. Filonov has been practicing for more than 30 years, if I'm not wrong. So then why did I find it after 10 years of struggling? And it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And life is measured not in days but in decades. So even with this journey, I don't know what is healed, what is not healed. And patience is powerful, right? So we need to be patient and we need to surrender this outcome to the Almighty, God, universe, whatever. So I would say I never even dreamt that I would come here one day when I read Dr. Filonov's book. And so this is something that is beyond what even I could have dreamt. Life is just much more than your small, tiny vision of yourself. Things just happen at a scale that you can't even think of. This is what I feel. Thank you.